Hello, everybody. Let's go have a real bad chat. Hi. The walk through the mahjong parlor is punctuated by the tantalizing smell of coconut and fried confection. Your crew surrounds Kindly Chang, watching uncomfortably as she peels small egg-shaped delicacies from a waffle-like pastry and pops them into her mouth. Interesting. Each time she does, her eyes close in ecstasy and a soft sound comes from her throat. There you are, Akira. Your crew here tells me that you were able to locate and interrogate the plastic-faced man. The straw sandal's eyes narrow and her rusty voice takes on a jagged edge. They haven't told me his current disposition, however. I assume everything went as I instructed. Okay, so now we have a choice. I feel like, so on the one hand, this could be a game where you totally get away with it, and she just believes you if you lie right to her face, and then nothing goes wrong. However, it could also be that due to her mob connections, being a triad boss and everything, she has already been informed by people unrelated to us what we actually did. I don't know how they would have found out, but it's still entirely possible. And lying to her under those circumstances would be, kind of a bad idea. So, I don't think we should lie. I don't know what consequences there are going to be for basically defying her direct orders. But I don't think we should lie. Actually, defying her direct orders are really kind of ends poorly for people. Okay, alright. I let him walk away. Kindly Chang folds her hands and her face becomes perfectly still. 10 seconds go by. When she speaks again, her voice is calm. I thought I was clear that I wanted him dead. His memory was gone. He wasn't a player anymore. Your actions don't send a strong message to Josephine Sang. When I tell you I want somebody dead, I prefer that they become dead. I do the strategy. You execute the strategy. She surveys your crew. Shadowrunners who wish to remain under my protection must remember their places. Oh boy. Her stiff eyebrows rise. That said, you succeeded in removing one of her pieces from the board, so let's move on. She pops an egg pastry into her mouth. I trust you got something useful out of the plastic-faced man before you let him go. We got plenty. Wu sounds eager. He gave us a data dump on everything he knew about Prosperity Tower. First-hand info. Josephine's headquarters? She puts down the pastry, rubs her nose, considering. That could be useful, I suppose. What do you intend on doing with it? We're gonna rescue Raymond. He's alive, Auntie, just like I said he was. Josephine's holding him in there. She's doing something to his brain. Something to his brain? She takes another bite. What's that old bitch up to now? Based on the memory that Mr. Plastic showed us, it looks like she's trying to rewire her son's memories using something called Assist. Artificial Sensory Induction Systems technology. It allows the user to record, process, and feed synthetic sensory input to their brain. Like a SimSense chip. Yes, Auntie. It's the technology that led to SimSense. It's also what allows Deckers to enter the Matrix and grants riggers a neural connection to their drones. An expert assist technician could alter someone's personality, memory, even identity. It's pretty common. I'm guessing experts like that don't grow on trees. Definitely not. Changing someone's memories requires a world-class expert and assist and a massive amount of computing power. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing to him, but I'm guessing his mom wants him to forget something, or to remember it differently, maybe. What do we know about Prosperity Tower? Mr. Plastic dropped us a couple of terabytes of data on Prosperity Tower, right out of his brain. Isabel and I have been studying it. Lots of good intel to mine there. He looks at the rest of the crew. Just what we need to take a run at the place and hope to get out alive. Shouldn't Kindly Cheng be asking these questions? Okay. How do we stop this assist thing? All we know is that an assist device is located in Lab 12. It's the only one in the building. Now I doubt the grandma will just hand it over the passcodes to her system if we ask nicely. So we'll need a Decker to access the assist device and eject him from the system safely before she scrambles his brain. I mean, I'm a Decker. What do we need to do to... Like I said, we don't know. We're gonna have to improvise, figure that out when we get there. How do we make our approach? Fortunately, Prosperity Tower is one of Sang's lower security locations. It's mostly administrative, marketing, that sort of thing. That's good. Kindly turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao, give the runners those old Sang security passes you used on that hijacking last year. Yes, Mr. Cheng. They'll... I've not been getting enough sleep lately. Yes, Mrs. Cheng, they'll get them. Those passes should get you through the lobby. The Triad boss pokes a fingernail between her teeth and dislodges a piece of pastry. Tasty. You'll still have to explain your presence, Kira, so don't expect to just walk on through. What about the junk data you held onto after the whooshing run? Good thinking, and I'm already ahead of you. I scoured the leftover whooshing paperwork and found a way to change our status to special couriers. We can use that to pose as a third-party whooshing uses to deliver important packages. That'll work for a while, but we can't expect to stay in cover for long. One way or another, things are gonna get hot. Loading, what? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll get us booked into the Sang system and print off some matching papers. We'll need a van to make it look legit. Bow. Consider it done. How do we get to Raymond? The key to this operation are the 3 security stations located on different floors. The matrix systems in these security stations are the command and control hubs for the entire building's security. As such, they're the best place to find out where Raymond Black is being held. Is that all we got on his location? All we know is that he's being held somewhere called Lab 12. Where that is or how to get in there is something we'll need to figure out on site. If things go hostile, the best thing to do is to get an alarm panel or a matrix security node and shut things down. If we're noticed, we'll have a brief window to cut the link to the alarm system. If we do that, it'll isolate the whole floor from the security system. The rest of the building won't know what's happening there. If the alarm goes off and we cut the link to the alarm system, we can spoof the system and tell it we've moved on to another location. That might work once or twice, but if we spoof too many alarms, they'll figure it out. How long is this brief window? Maybe 30 seconds? Maybe less if the network isn't cluttered with traffic. It's there as a failsafe, so security doesn't stampede all over the building if a janitor forgets to close the door. What about guards? Standard corp security for the most part, but Sang has a rapid response squad for high priority events. That would be us. Sounds manageable up to the point we find him. Judging by the way Grandma Sang took out Carter, Gutshot, and Nightjar, I'd say she isn't interested in anyone getting anywhere near her son. Expect to face Sang's elite security once we find him. What else do we have on the security stations? Only one thing worth mentioning. She looks over at Wu. The only way into a security station is with a key card. Guards on each floor carry a card to the station on that floor. So we can get a card by taking them out, but there may be other ways of getting them. He crosses his arms across his chest. Like I said, security stations are the key to this operation. They provide multiple opportunities to exploit the system and determine how to approach the rest of our incursion. Well, we don't need an entire building full of security on us. Roger that. We'll be quiet. I see what you did there. So which station do we hit first? The little Decker purses her lips. No way to know. We'll need to take one of them and use it to determine our next step. It's like we have directions to go find a map. Okay. Let's hope it's enough to give us an edge. One other thing. While I was helping Duncan verify as much of this data as I could, I decided to collect our marker with Bull and his team of runners. Who's... Oh, that's the okay, yeah. She looks up at Wu, her eyes big and round. Yeah, no kidding. Turns out Bull and our runner friends hit Sang a few months back. Low rent smash and grab for another corp, but they got a quick scan of the building's matrix security before they rabbited. They gave us data flags that pinpoint where the security nodes are located inside of Sang's system. So when we jack into a security station, we'll be able to make a direct attack on the security node. That could just buy us the seconds we'll need to cut the alarm link. Nice work. Kindly cuts in, licking her fingers with loud smacking noises. One more thing, Kira. While you're in her headquarters, look for anything we can use to incriminate or embarrass Josephine Sang. I want dirt. Something I can feed to an acquaintance on the executive council. Someone who stands to gain from it. Does this come with a cash bonus? She pops another egg treat into her mouth, and her eyes close tight with pleasure. Of course, my sweet. Of course. Now go enjoy Prosperity Tower, she smiles wolfishly, and give Josephine Sang my regards. Okay. That didn't end as horribly as it could have, so at least there's that. I guess we're just kind of... Yeah. We're just down to that now. It's like... I'm interested in the fact that this game is apparently shorter than Dragonfall. At least it seems like. There's like... I feel like there's a higher, from Dreamland. Good luck with your whole what happened to my father thing. Rough deal. If nothing else, I hope the people responsible get what's coming to them. And that my neural inhibitor program helps you go. Oh, okay. Well, we already got through that. But yeah, it seems like there's less runs in the... Strangely. Like, unless I'm just missing something, which is fairly possible. You walk into a mess. Half-eaten cans of food litter the floor, and personal equipment is strewn about in a haphazard fashion. Amid the mess, Wu sits in his bunk with his back against the wall. I mean, it's still okay. He has a PDA in his hands, and he's staring down at it, sullen and morose. He doesn't acknowledge your entry. Want me to come back later? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Go, stay, whatever. I assume you're here to talk. What you looking at? Video of Edward Sang. Can I see it? Sure, why not? He taps a button and turns the PDA around so you can see it. The footage shows a serious Chinese man in an expensive suit sitting behind a large solid wood desk covered in blueprints. The man is holding a magnifying glass over one of the plans and studying it intently. He folds the blueprint over and checks the one beneath it. The nameplate on the desk reads, Edward Sang, Vice President of Special Projects. The video is rough and contains no sound. It may have been footage for a documentary that was never completed. The next shot is from some sort of planning meeting in a glass-enclosed conference room. The serious man is sitting at the conference table, pointing to a large map and looking up at the men standing around him. He's explaining something. They look at each other and nod, clearly impressed by what he has to say. The whiteboard at the end of the room bears the words, Groundbreaking, 21st May, 2022, written in bold characters. Raymond's writing. Footage cuts to a scene of two people talking at the end of a long hallway. They don't appear to know that they're being recorded. It's the serious man, listening intently to what an older woman has to say, nodding with his arms crossed and his thumb at his lips. The woman is the same one that was in the tapped video call that Kindly Cheng showed you, Josephine Sang. She's somewhere in her late middle age, beautiful and very clearly in charge. The two look up at the same time, see the camera, and begin waving their hands for it to be turned off. The woman appears angry but cold. The video ends, and Wu puts the PDA face down on his bunk. He shrugs his shoulders and searches your eyes. Who is that guy? Don't know anymore. Yeah, me neither. Maybe when we find the... I'm doing things so out of order here. What about it? I never really had that problem with him. Of course not. You know how to avoid conflict with him. You had that way of diffusing him when he started with that intense raid thing he used to do, remember? I haven't thought of that in a long time. I think you were the one who came up with that name. It was like the summer after we started living with him and Miss Maloney. Raid found out that we hadn't followed one of his rules. I don't remember which. It was a long list. He hated crap like that. Nerps. No, that wasn't it. I think he caught me smoking. Yeah, that's right. I was smoking, and he was pissed and said that fat kids who smoke die faster. So just to be obstinate, I told him I liked to smoke, and we got into it. And you came in and defused the whole situation. He stops talking, and his expression becomes thoughtful. I think that's why I was so resentful. Jesus. Resentful when you took off. Especially after Mr. Maloney died. You were the only one who could get through to him when he became intense array. Was when Double Tray got taken. I don't want to talk about that right now. I've got enough on my mind as it is. Stuff like my father betraying my own trust. Okay. Clanky of metal followed by grunts from hard exercise erupt from the hatchway of Wu's cabin. The first thing you notice when you enter is its renewed cleanliness. I love it. I love it. We're like time warping. God. It's because they don't have any, like they have the trigger to continue the dialogue, but they don't have the triggers to remove, like, old dialogue, it looks like. The food cans are gone, and his equipment is neatly laid out on his bedding. Everything is in its place. The next thing you notice is the smell. It's like a middle school locker room, and ew. He finishes his jumping jacks and grabs a towel off his bunk. His exposed flesh gleams with perspiration. Hey. How's it going? Better. He scrubs his sweaty head with the towel. I let myself wallow for a while, but now it's time to turn things around. We have work to do. What's your deal? He rubs his towel under his arms. Compartmentalized him. Edward sang is a topic in a file cabinet in my head. The only thing about Raymond now. Finding out what happened to him. What really happened to him. Taking it a moment at a time, huh? It's me, Mr. Focus. We already... I love it. I haven't stopped thinking about him since we first saw him in that video. The one where he attacked Raymond in the tea house. I'm not going to press you to take me with you. And we already caught him! We already went through this. We already went through this. Okay, well, oh, dude, we already did this. Okay, Raymond and Double Tray. It was about you disappearing for 8 years without a word. But we're past that now. He pulls his right elbow across his chest with his left hand. Gets a good stretch, but that was a messed up night. A lot of things happened. I wouldn't be surprised if some, I don't know, emotions got jumbled together. About the, fight with Raymond? Yeah, mostly. We'd butted heads before. I'd broken plenty of his rules in the past, but I'd never seen him so disappointed. Still not sure why. Start with when Lockjaw showed up. He pulls his left elbow across his chest and lets out a little groan. Ugh. So, it was 2045, years after the summer we moved in with Raymond. We hadn't seen DT or Lockjaw or any of the gang in forever. Raymond's rules, no contact with our hoodlum friends, no visiting the squat to check up on them. If you can accept that, your past loses all power over you. He wrinkles his nose. You don't sound anything like him. The way I remember it, we woke up in the middle of the night and there was Lockjaw standing in our room covered in blood. My first thought was that Raymond was going to kill us. Can you imagine? This teenage Salish Indian covered in blood in our bedroom, and my first thought was that I might get in trouble. He was an intimidating guy when we were young. Isn't that weird? I towered over him. It just didn't matter. Little man just had that way of looking at you, that tone. So Lockjaw's bleeding all over our bedroom and you're whisper yelling, "Where's DT? What happened to Double Trey?" 5 minutes later, we're dressed in black and on our way back to the Barrens. We had to. Of course, if it wasn't for Double Trey, neither of us would be here right now. He was the one who took us to the teen center, introduced us to Raymond. That was a messed up night. 162's had overrun the Leary squad, better positioned to take on the nukes. Benzo and Tusk were bleeding out. Hernandez's family was half-eaten, and little Joe, that streetwalker with the electric false eyelashes, was lying on the floor in 2 parts. This is really about when we got back home. True. All that was just lead up. Still, it speaks to my state of mind that night, why I wouldn't back down when Raymond met us at the door. Neither one of you would budge. We both had the strength of the righteous. You and I had broken his rules out of loyalty, out of gratitude. He just didn't get that. Can you see it from his perspective? Now I can, yeah. He rubs his head, thinking. He didn't just think we had broken his rules or that we'd backslid. He thought we'd been playing him the whole year, and we were still street hoods. No wonder he was so furious. He felt betrayed. You were able to get him to calm down and see reason. Get him to see my side of the story, and all he said was that one thing. The thing he said his mother used to say to him when he was being obstinate. Well, what the hell was it? Listen with the intent to reply. He understands badly who listens badly. Listen to what you know instead of what you fear. Geez. Maybe the middle. I feel like the middle one makes the most sense. Of course, you can't like save in the middle of a conversation because that would be cheating. I mean, he's probably gonna save if we get it wrong, but he understands. I'm gonna go with the middle one. He understands badly who listens badly. He nods his head, remembering. Yeah, that listens badly thing really got to him. He was really ashamed of himself for flying off the handle. Using his mother's words on him really did the trick. I wonder what kind of childhood he had. He rubs his chin, but the way he looked at you after that. I think that may have been part of why I left. Yeah, I get it. We're cool now. That's what Edward sang. Maybe he's got mommy issues. Who knows? Maybe I got a few daddy issues to deal with too. Guess I just try to keep an open mind when we see him. Okay. Is that... Alright. Puh. It was like... We were... I'm confused. Anyway. Let's see if we have a follow-up. We probably do. Gobet glances up at you at the sound of your approach. A slight smile crosses her face. Hey, pal. She puts her hands on her hips, sending madness scurrying. Ready for your next lesson? Sure. Straight to business. She nods appreciatively. Like that. Good. This one's about people like Auntie Chang and why we need them. It won't be a Q&A session after this story, but I want you to listen up. It's important. I'm all ears. Alright, so here's the upfront lesson. Fixers are important. You can't just go to a Johnson yourself and get a job. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. It's a bad idea all around. Okay. The reason why it's a bad idea to cut someone like Conti Chang out is because you need someone to vet your clients. That's important. Protects the whole team. She takes in a breath, lets it out slowly. You remember the lesson from last time, the one about Sui and the shiny object? To be honest, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. Well, after the run was over, we went back to the sinking ship for some R&R. Sui had told us that the client would be sending a boat to collect the shiny object in the morning. All we had to do was keep the thing safe until the handoff. We were in a celebratory mood. We'd killed an evil wizard and stolen priceless artifact. A good night's work by anyone's standards. Honu and Egret got good and drunk in record time. And Sui went back to his cabin with the shiny object to, I don't know, stare at it for a while or something. I retired to my cabin and crashed out. It'd been a long night. I remember waking up to sounds. Yelling, maybe? I was groggy and they were far away. Couldn't quite make them out. Clock said 4:30 a.m. People were always partying on the raft, playing loud music, shooting off fireworks, that kind of thing. So loud noises early in the morning weren't unusual, but something felt off somehow. Yeah, Barons, she nods. Yeah, it's a lot like a panic attack, really. I have full body certainty that something's wrong. So I got up to investigate. If something was wrong, I wanted to know, and if it wasn't, I figured I might as well get in on the party. Stepped out into the hallway and my foot slipped. I came down hard, landed on my ass, and found myself sitting in a pool of blood. That's not good. No, it was pretty bad. So it was pretty obvious by this point that something had gone horribly wrong. My first thought was that the shiny object might have, I don't know, unleashed something. After what I saw it do in that warehouse, I wouldn't have been surprised. I shook that off pretty quick, though. I knew what this was. Our client was playing us. He'd hired us to steal the thing, and rather than paying us for the job, he'd sent another team to take it away. So what'd you do? I got up and beelined for Malvina's cabin. She was the closest thing that the sinking ship had to a leader, and the strongest rat shaman on the raft. Okay. Why... Why go to her? She stares at you blankly. Because I'm not an idiot. Sorry, that wasn't aimed at you. But think about it for a second. If there was a retrieval team coming for the shiny object and they were strong enough to handle Sui while he was holding it, what chance would I have of stopping them? I figured it was time to bring out the big guns. Malvina was the one whom I could get them from. I passed some pretty bad stuff on my way down to Malvina's cabin. It was old man Shuyan's vault all over again. Torn up bodies, blood-streaked floors. I saw people who'd been cut apart with machetes. Scorch marks on the container walls. She bites her lip, grimacing at the unpleasant memories stewing in her head. Deep down in the pit of my gut, I could feel the thrumming vibration of the shiny object. A heartbeat feeling I'd had in the warehouse. It was back and stronger than ever. Whatever that rock was, it was awake. Did you make it? I mean, yeah. I burst through the door, all ready to spread the news, and someone smashed a gun into my face. It was Cadmus, my friend. He jammed the muzzle of his super warhawk into my cheek so hard it hurt, and grabbed me by the belt with his other hand. I wasn't going anywhere. Just over his shoulder, I saw Malvina. She didn't look amused. Don't start knocking down my friend's doors. Yeah, it's a good note. I wish I'd had you there at the time to keep me from doing it. She smiles weakly. Adrenaline and abject terror can make a girl do some stupid things, I'll tell you what. Smile on her face dies. She looks away. Anyway, it wasn't an attack. There were no hostile invaders in the sinking ship, and our client had nothing to do with what was going on. Turns out there was no client. Sui had lied to us. To me. Because he wanted the shiny object for himself. What he wanted to do was take the sinking ship away from Malvina. So he used us to steal him something that he could use to foment a mutiny. She pauses for a moment, gathers her rats in her hands, and lifts them to her shoulders. They scurry over the leather of her coat and disappear into her hair. As it turns out, betrayal hurts, Seattle. Malvina felt it, and I felt it too. Sui had been a friend. I'd just risked my life to save his, like 4 hours ago. He tricked me into helping him do something unthinkable. Why do you think he did it? I don't know. Maybe he'd gone toxic. Maybe he got ambitious and wanted to be the king of our little aquatic hill. He didn't discuss it with me first or anything. I'd be willing to bet that something had gone rotten in Sui long before we ever met. He was pretty damn good at hiding it, though. Oh, no. No. People do terrible things every day. Yeah, they do. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter why he did it. All that matters is that he did. So what'd you do? What could I do? I didn't have the whole lot of options, and Cadmus was kind of on edge, like red-faced and screaming. So I opened my mouth and I fast-talked my way out of it. Started off by doubling down on my loyalty to Malvina, Cadmus, and the status quo on the sinking ship, swearing my undying friendship. You know the drill. Did a good job of it, but they still looked a little iffy. Iffy with a warhawk is bad, so I volunteered to prove myself by stealing the shiny object back from Sui. That's brave of you. I know, right? Not my style at all, but then I didn't really have a choice. I did inadvertently help to arm the bastard who was tearing our friends and neighbors apart. I don't think I could have cleared my name without taking his weapon away again. It was a hell of a night. Nah, I don't want to get into too many of the gory details. Friends died, hell, friends killed each other. It was brother against brother, all that jazz. And Sui's indiscriminate use of the shiny object let a lot of things into this world that shouldn't have been. Did you get it back? Yeah, it wasn't easy, but I got it. You, want to elaborate? Not really. I used lies and misdirection, trickery. Rat helped. She pauses a moment, frowning. Some of the things that Sui let loose actually came in handy, funny enough. He'd summoned so many of them that he couldn't hope to control them all, and that gave me an opening to use them to my advantage. I was able to steer some of Sui's followers into a pack of the damn things. Worked. Wasn't pretty, though. I managed to trick my way past Sui's supporters in the astral menagerie that he'd summoned. Wasn't easy, but I did it. I stole the shiny object, and all was right with the world. Yeah, I'm intentionally glossing over the details. I had to do some things I'm not proud of, and people died because of it. But I got the damn thing, and I got it back to Malvina. Long story short, Malvina put the shiny object to better use than Sui ever did. She took to the thing like she'd grown up using it. We still lost dozens of people, but Sui's side lost more. Cadmus was critically wounded, but he pulled through. After the skirmish, Malvina held an assembly. She told everybody that there'd be new rules for life on the raft. Anyone who refused to follow them could leave, and if you broke them, you were done. Rules of the sea and all that. After the pronouncement, she turned on the surviving mutineers. Honu was one of them. He'd been in on Sui's plan the whole time. She didn't kill them, but she did exile them from the sinking ship. And for people in our economic bracket, it was as good as a one-way trip to the walled city. I'd be willing to bet they're all dead by now. In the wake of Malvina's ultimatum, 5 survivors left the sinking ship. I was one of them. Why'd you leave? I had to go. We may have washed the blood off the decks, but the energy of the sinking ship had changed. It wasn't the carefree haven I'd loved anymore. And as sensible as Malvina's rules were, I wasn't up to living under them. We parted on good, but sad terms, and as you'd expect, we drifted apart over the years. Funny, I hadn't even thought of Malvina or the sinking ship in years, until I decided to teach you your previous lesson, and it all came flooding back in. She pauses. That's the story. It's finished, but I want to circle back on the lesson I gave you up front, because it's important. We need Auntie Chang to bring us work. That's obvious. But we also need her to keep us honest. To be sure that we, on the team, are playing straight with one another. Auntie Chang's reputation rides on the legitimacy of the jobs that she brings us, and that, more than anything, is why we need her. If we didn't have Auntie Chang, or someone like her, we'd eventually tear ourselves apart. It happened on the sinking ship. It could happen again in Hoi. So anyway, that's the lesson. If you've got follow-up questions, go ahead and ask them. We should probably ask this next time, but what did Malvina do? Well, first she used it to get rid of the things that Sui had let loose, and she put it away for safekeeping. It's probably still there on the sinking ship, ensconced in some shrine or other, held under lock and key. She's keeping it. She shrugs. I'd have preferred it if she ditched the thing, but in the end, it wasn't my choice to make. From what I've heard, she's still in power over there, so I guess it worked out okay. And Sui? Walking colostomy bag was already dead, eaten by his own monsters after I took the shiny object away. Turns out he wasn't much good at controlling them without it. Her voice fills with grim satisfaction. He didn't even live long enough to watch his mutiny fail. Thanks. Sure, in Seattle, thanks for listening. These lessons are for your benefit, but I think they can help me too. It's nice to be taken seriously every now and again. Who says I take his... I'll forward to the next one. Her face lights up. Yeah, me too. Gotta move on. I've got things to do. Okay, well, we've had 2 episodes in a row of Talkie Talkie, which means let's see if we can make it 3. Go for the hat trick. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!